Hello, 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 and welcome on in. I hope wherever you are, you're having a good day, good evening, good morning. Remember to drink your water, take your medicine, eat some food, get some sleep, and take care of yourself the best that you can. That's all we can ask. Welcome back to day 2 of Paranormasight, the 7 Mysteries of Honjo. Really enjoying the game so far. Couldn't wait to get back for day 2. Hopping right back into the story. As I was saying briefly before I started recording this, I'd heard good things about it, but I wasn't sure if I was going to vibe with the game or not. But after playing it last time, just absolutely really fun game. I am sure it's going to end horribly for everyone involved in this story. 90% sure that that's going to happen. But I'm in it. I'm along for the ride. So, without further ado, we're going to hop back in here. We seem to, at least for now, have finished Shogo Okie's path from last time, and we have 3 more paths that have opened before us based on 3 of the characters that we met in Shogo's initial path. And hopefully we find more and unlock and understand more of the mysteries that are going on in this town. Come on. There we go. So we unlocked the branches for Haruo Shigima, Tetsu Tsutsumi, and Yako Sakazaki. I guess let's just go down the list. Not dreams. Not dreams. Haruo Shigima. When the son of Haruo Shigima was kidnapped, a botched investigation by the police resulted in the child's murder. 1 year later, Haruo has hired a private investigator to help resolve the unsettled case. Late at night, while speaking to the detective at her home, something strange suddenly appears. Who's the person that burned us alive? Those who mock this fire perish in flame. Kill them. Kill them. Flame bearers. Kill them all. Ah, the Haunting Clappers. You have acquired the power of the cursed stone, the Haunting Clappers. You can use it to kill those with fire or a fire-starting device on their person. Press the Use Curse button to set your target alight. Sounds fun. This just had the extra stuff. Kills by burning one who is in possession of fire or a fire-starting device. Red, red, red. Everything is dyed crimson. My home is burning to the ground. It's hot. So hot. I must call for help, but I cannot speak. My throat must be burned up from the smoke. No. I think I'm already on fire. That's right. I'll just use the clappers. Clack, clack. Is anybody there? Clack, clack. Why is no one coming? Going to burn to death. How did it come to this? All right. Her. It must be the work of that vixen who appeared suddenly and enchanted my lord. That witch. Those hauntingly cold eyes had my lord dancing in the palm of her hand. Perhaps I was also taken in by her. How many innocent people did I lure in under orders? This must be karma. The sound of a heavy bell. It feels like my head will split open. All right, the evening bell. That must be why no one can hear the sound of my clappers. I gotta do it louder. Clack, clack. All right. A murderous impulse seeps into my soul like thick black tar. Now, kill. Can you hear it, curse bearer? You who so strongly desire the right. Kill them. Harue Shigema, 12 a.m. Shigema Mansion reception area. Reception room. Back with me, ma'am. Can't say I understand what just happened, but it certainly seems to put you in a good mood. This might be the first time I've ever seen you really smile. Sweet dreams? Housewife Harue Shigema. Oh, yeah, right, we didn't know her name before. Occupation housewife, Curse Echo, the Haunting Clappers. Harue is a housewife who resides in a manor near Shimoko Bridge. Her 11-year-old son, Suichi, was kidnapped and murdered about a year ago. The death was the result of a mistake on the part of the detective assigned to the case. A mistake which enraged the kidnapper and had him cut off all contact with the police, leaving no room for negotiation. The incident was covered up, and Suichi's killer remains at large, leading the aggrieved Harue to call on the services of private investigator Richter Kai to uncover the truth. The Shima family came from a line of samurai who built their residence in Honjo during the Edo period. They assumed important positions in the police force following the Meiji Revolution, thereby protecting their family's elevated status. Even today, many in the Shigema line work as police bureaucrats and senior police officers. Harue's father sits in the upper echelons of the National Police Agency, and her husband, adopted into the Shigema clan through an arranged marriage, is also a highly respected agency official. However, as her family prioritizes work above all else, it wasn't long before Harue's marriage grew cold. Though she wants for nothing, she's isolated from her neighbors and withdrawn from society. Seeing her son grow into a young man gave Harue a purpose in life, but it was cut short by the kidnapping incident. Following the incident, Harue spent many days in a deep depression, breaking into sudden fits of shouting and wandering around in the middle of the night. Her cheerful, loving disposition faded away, and she took to making snide remarks at her husband, which only further soured their relationship. A few months ago, Harue's husband was transferred to another area for work, and now rarely returns home. With Harue left to live in the large, empty mansion alone, as a housekeeper who has been with the family for a long time comes in to take care of all the housework, Harue has nothing but time on her hands. No. Not dreams. Sounds like something I might want to hear about. Oh. A fax machine. It can send images to other places along the telephone network. I don't really know how it works. Most houses don't have one. I rarely find a use for it. It's a TV. A color television. Father bought one as soon as it hit the market. He likes to have the latest gadgets. Unlike the last models, there is no remote control. We've had it for a long time. Back when it was new, we all gathered around it and marveled at it as a family. But with Father and my husband being away so often, it quickly fell into disuse. Well, I'll be damned. What is that what I think it is? Goodness, you made me jump. It's just a silly little sticker my son got from somewhere or other. He put it up just before... Well, you know what happened. I still can't bring myself to take it down. Let me take a closer look. Chicken. Like a biker chicken. I knew it. It's head hencho from way back in set number 1. This is a real collector's item. Excuse me? Don't tell me you've never heard of the mockingbirds. The what? They're the hottest new craze. Cute little birds dressed up like a rough and tumble delinquents. I've never heard of them, but this certainly seems to matter to you. The best part is nobody knows who made them. They just started showing up around town. Soon enough, they'd won everybody's hearts. Story goes that they're made by some anonymous artist who covertly leaves them behind in specific locations. No one knows when or where they'll show up next. They're basically an urban legend of sorts. To think one would turn up here of all places. This is a good sign, I'm sure of it. Oh, well, that's nice. Mockingbird number 1 discovered. This is just part of... Oh, there's 20 of them? Jesus. These popular bird mascot stickers seem to pop up everywhere. Nobody knows who the legendary artist is behind these quirky birds, but they quickly became popular for their surreal yet oddly cute designs. Be in the right place at the right time in Honjo, and you just might be able to find all 20 of them scattered around. Legend has it collecting them all will bring good luck. Oh. Late at night on the way home. A bottom shelf surrounded by darkness. Jackpot. Approach the net. Oh. Before hearing the history, if you won the lottery. In the bright garden, wait until you feel like yourself again. Detectives in private. Interesting. In a park where sparrows things. On a bridge pillar at night. Waiting at the intersection. A unique looking playground. Revisiting the park at night. Interesting. I don't know. We'll see if I can find them when I can. A stereo unit with separated speakers designed for home use. My husband insisted on buying one, even though he isn't one to listen to music often. What? An arrangement of flowers. We bring in someone to do it. I don't even know what the flowers are called. An old hanging scroll. I don't know who painted it. It's been hanging here since before I was born. A private investigator I hired. A friend told me about him. They said he's not very well known, but he's good at what he does. When I first visited his office in Oda City and saw how he dressed, I could hardly believe he was a detective. But after talking to him for a while, I changed my mind. He says some strange things at times, but he seems like the reliable sort. Curse Echo none. He's not a curse holder. The eccentric man that Shogo Okie ran into at Honji Bridge. Richter is actually a private investigator with an office in Oda City, Tokyo. After taking on a request from Haruo Shigema to investigate the unsolved kidnapping and murder of her son, he gets caught up in the events surrounding the Rite of Resurrection. Once a police officer, Richter was racked with guilt over the police's inability to help all those in need and quit the force to start his own private investigation firm. However, his soft-hearted nature leads him to take on too many cases and has put his office in dire financial straits. How he is still in business is a mystery, with some whispering that a wealthy patron is keeping him afloat. Richter studied alongside Detective Jun Ario at the police academy. Somewhat surprisingly, given his outlandish clothing and mannerisms, Richter excels at covert investigations entailing his targets. He proudly refers to himself as an investigator extraordinaire, though that only ever succeeds in impressing himself. Richter's biggest source of happiness is nuzzling his pet female albino parakeet, Ernestine, which he keeps in his office. He also enjoys collecting mockingbird stickers, a popular line of merchandise featuring birds inexplicably dressed like delinquents, can be frequently sighted searching around town for them. While out and about, Richter typically leaves the office, and more importantly, Ernestine, in the care of Amamori, a junior high schooler who volunteered to assist Richter after being involved in a previous case. I wonder if that is probably nothing, because it also could be referenced by anything. But I wonder if that's a reference to the Famicom detective games, because that is also one of the premises, is you play as the assistant to a detective that was involved in a previous case, sort of. Well, yeah, it is. Yeah. One of them. Don't know. Maybe. And they would have been a junior high student. Yeah. Junior high or high school, I forget. But yeah. Files update. Azure Heron Agency. Okay. Richter Kai's private investigation firm in Kamata, Oda City. Originally, Kai thought to give it a simple name, like Kai's detective agency. But upon hearing that people are more likely to pick names listed at the front of the phone book alphabetically, he decided to pick a name starting with A, thus Azure Heron Agency was established. However, it is questionable whether the heron, a bird of somewhat ominous significance, is an effective symbol for attracting customers. Even his own assistant has referred to the name as confusing at best. After all, rather than an azure heron, Richter keeps a white parrot as a pet and dresses not in blue but mostly in white. If there was a symbolic connection to be made here, it would surely be lost on all but Richter himself. A private investigator, also known as a private eye, is a detective who operates their own agency. Although there are no formal qualifications necessary to become a private investigator, many are retired police agents or detectives due to the similarities between the work involved. At a glance, private investigation firms and inquiry offices might look similar, but they carry out different types of investigations. Inquiry offices specialize in conducting credit checks on businesses, while private investigators are generally involved in tailing persons of interest and gaining information surreptitiously. Let me bring you up to speed. We were in the middle of a chat when you suddenly started spacing out. And the whole time you were grinning to yourself like you just won the lottery. Care to tell me what that was all about? Well, where to start? Interesting. Very interesting. So the haunting clapper's curse echo appeared out of nowhere, told you how to perform the rite of resurrection, and gave you the curse you'll need to do it. Have I got that right? That's right. So it's all real. Honestly, I still find it hard to believe. But I guess I have to now. I saw that curse stone appear in your hand myself. Looked like it popped clean out of thin air. With evidence that clear, there's no denying that there's some supernatural force at work. I don't think you quite understand. Oh? This isn't about evidence, and it isn't about belief. It's more than that. I know it's real. The moment the curse appeared, I knew everything before it even said a word. It was already there in my head as clear as day. You just knew, huh? It was etched onto my soul, along with the curse echo's resentful memories. So I can feel it, what it was like. dying like they did hundreds of years ago, wreathed in flame, writhing in pain as my flesh blackens and my blood boils. I can feel it, all the agony, all the rage. It fills me with bloodlust. I think I need to kill someone. Anyone will do, just as long as they're carrying fire. I see. That could be a problem. You think so? From what I know of you, I was sure you'd see it as an opportunity. The stronger the desire to resurrect someone, the stronger the urge to kill. That's how it seems to me, anyway. Good grief, talk about a spanner in the works. I say we take stock for a moment. Remind ourselves where we've come from and where we're going. That might be a good idea. That's what you hired me for, ma'am. To look into your son's kidnapping last year. To uncover the truth behind the abduction and murder of Shuichi Shigema. Oh yes, I remember. They never did find the one who did it. That's what I'm here about today. In fact, kind of you to let me drop by so late, by the way. I've been turning over every last stone, and I've come up with a grand total of 1 lead. So you said. As far as the police are concerned, it's a cold case, but I managed to make some headway. I remember. You were just about to tell me. The Shigema kidnapping. A kidnapping and murder case that took place in Honjo, Sumida, around 1 year ago. Haruhi Shigema's son, Shuichi, age 11, was kidnapped on his way home from school, with a ransom being demanded that same evening. Initially, the kidnapping was thought of as a simple extortion scheme, but when it came to light that the Shigema family was closely tied to the police, and Shuichi was in fact the grandson of a senior official, it was quickly assumed that the perpetrator was acting upon a grudge against the police force. The kidnapping was treated as a direct attack against the good name of the police, and a large-scale investigation was launched that used the best equipment available to trace phone calls. This made it all the more embarrassing when they were unable to catch the culprit, losing the public's confidence. The culprit grew cocky, relentlessly mocking the police force. After 3 days of failure after failure, Haruhi reached a breaking point. Spurred by concern for her son, she resolved to hand over the ransom money as fast as possible, but her husband and father, who held the prestige of the police in high regard, refused, saying that they would not let the criminal win by giving in to their demands. The increasingly frantic detective assigned to the case lost his temper when the criminal called to give an ultimatum, causing the culprit to never make contact again. Another week passed, and Shuichi's body was found floating in the Sumida River. Shuichi's death could largely be ascribed to the police's incompetence, but this was ultimately covered up with the stringent media embargoes. The investigation was never closed, but the case has long gone cold. Shuichi Shigema, male, elementary school student, Kurseko Nun, the only son of Haruhi Shigema. He was kidnapped and murdered 1 year ago. His body was discovered floating in the Sumida River. Shuichi was a conscientious, brave young boy who was determined to protect his mother Haruhi amid his father's frequent absences. He dreamed of becoming a police officer and displayed diligence and an impressive sense of responsibility from a young age, likely due to being raised in an extremely strict environment. Born in the early 70s, he spent his day immersed in various activities and studies, including playing piano, learning the abacus, taking English lessons, and training in kendo. Shuichi's tendency to put other people's needs over his own meant he died without ever telling his classmates how much he longed for them all to go out on a hunt for mockingbird stickers. I suppose there's not much point going over the kidnapping itself. No, I'm very familiar. Then I'll leave that for the files to cover and just confirm a few things about the case. The police traced the culprit's calls back to, let's see here, Northern Oyoko River here in Sumida City. That's quite a wide area. That's right. In the end, they never managed to nail down exactly where the calls were coming from. But it was almost certainly the same location that Suichi was being held captive, since Suichi's voice could be heard during the killer's calls. Northern Oyoko River is quite a distance from Suichi's normal school commute. Factoring in that he was seen at school but went missing before he arrived at his house. It's likely that he was abducted by car on his route home. Maybe, but... Exactly. Suichi was a clever boy. He never would have gotten into a car with a stranger. That's right. I was very firm about that. I know he understood too. I even saw him warning the other children. It's possible that they forced him into the car. The only issue there is there weren't any witnesses to the kidnapping. Can't bundle someone into a car with that many students around and not be noticed. But nobody came forward to say they saw anything suspicious. So did they target him at some other time? Or somewhere away from his usual route? Both of these seem a little far-fetched. Which raises the question, how did the kidnapper pull it off? The police never managed to find an answer. In the end, they decided that the kidnapper must just have gotten lucky. Well, why not turn the problem on its head? Yeah. The kidnapper managed to convince Suichi to get into their car, but how? The only thing that makes sense to me is if they were somebody that he would have reason to trust. A teacher, perhaps, or a relative, or somebody else that he knew. But all of the adults Suichi knew had alibis. The police checked them all thoroughly. They did, huh? No one throws numbers at a problem like the cops. What if it wasn't someone he knew, or rather, what if the culprit disguised themselves as a police officer? That would explain why he didn't find them suspicious. The Shigema family has close ties with the police after all. He would have had a reason to trust them. You might be right. But surely that couldn't have... Well, there's a problem with the theory. You'd be surprised how much police officers stand out. That's sort of the point after all. They're meant to be a visible deterrent against crime. But here's another interesting little bit of trivia I happen to know. When you ask people to imagine someone suspicious, nobody pictures women or children. Even kids who've been warned about stranger danger often subconsciously expect that danger to look like an adult man. Besides, Suichi was the sort of boy who wanted to be a police officer when he grew up. Must have had a very strong sense of right and wrong. That's right. Wait, surely you can't mean... Now you're getting it. If, say, a young woman approached Suichi asking for help, what would he have done? Someone like that said they were lost and asked him for directions. Would he have gotten into a car? He might have. My husband always told him that a man had a duty to watch out for women and children. You could certainly argue that kind of attitude is outdated nowadays. But if Suichi believed it, then we might have something here. And you think the culprit was a young woman? But there was a man's voice on the phone. She might have been an accomplice, or maybe she didn't even realize she was being used. If anything, that would explain why she hasn't come forward. She herself might not realize she had anything to do with the case. So the question is, did anybody see Suichi speaking with a young woman on the day of his disappearance? See what I said about people's biases? That goes for witnesses too. And I figured that maybe if I started asking new questions, I might get some new answers. So I spent my day asking around Suichi's school route, seeing if anyone had seen something. And one man thought he had. Do you mean he saw it happen? Well, I can't say that for sure yet. Turned out that he wanted something from me, so he asked if we could talk in private. Several hours earlier. Alright, this should do. There's no one around. We can speak in confidence. Excuse me, what was your name again? Jonoichi. Got it. Well, Jonoichi, I'm all ears. Just so we're on the same page. You're a private detective investigating Suichi Shigema's kidnapping. Do I have that right? Of course. What else do I look like? How should I know what a private detective looks like? Oh, forget it. Look, I'll tell you straight. My life is in danger. I need your help. You'll excuse me if that caught me a little off guard. Let me ask you straight. Who's trying to kill you? A student called Michio Shiraishi. Interesting. A schoolgirl, eh? Sounds like you've been naughty. It's nothing like that. That girl, she's a murderer. I'm the only one who knows, but I saw what she did. Michio Shiraishi. I saw her kidnap Suichi Shigema. Come again? I saw her talk to him on the street and lead him away. I didn't think up much of it at the time, but then he went missing. She murdered him, I'm sure of it. Or at least she's got something to do with it. That's what you're here for, isn't it? Then you can't let her get to me. That's true. You've been sitting on some valuable information. Why didn't you tell anybody? Well, you see, if you can't explain that, I don't have any reason to believe you. I couldn't. She told me she'd kill me if I spoke a word. You're telling me a schoolgirl had you scared for your life? So you've been sitting on that all this time, and you think she's coming for you now that you've spilled the beans? Yes, that's it exactly. I'm begging you, don't let her get me. Arrest her. I'm telling you, she's a demon. Well, you seem to believe what you're saying, but it just doesn't add up. How could a schoolgirl have a fully grown man so terrified? You don't know what she can do. She'll curse me. Curse you? I'm sorry, but you're losing me here. It's true, her house, oh, forget it, why do I even bother? You seem dubious enough to believe me, but I should have known you'd never understand. Enough. I'll find someone else to help me. Hey. And that's about the long and short of it. I can hardly believe it. At the time, I thought his mention of curses was just crazy talk. I'm starting to see that there might have been more to it. Then, if we can just find that girl. Curse or no curse, if she was with Suichi on the day of the kidnapping, there's a good chance she knows something. Top of that, I did some digging on the man I spoke to. His full name is Kohei Jinochi. He's a teacher at Komagata High School here in Sumida. A teacher? Then this schoolgirl... is one of his students. I think that's very likely. See. And last, we've got a lead. Hopefully it'll be the breakthrough we're looking for. The Rite of Resurrection, huh? I read about that in an occult magazine the other day. Apparently some old book showed up recently with all the gory details. And they say that the rite can be found somewhere here in Honjo. I remember the first time you told me about that. I felt like my prayers had been heard. Like if I had hope, real hope for the first time. Ever since that awful day, I've wondered. What if I hadn't sent him to school? What if I'd just paid the ransom? Not a day goes by when I don't think that if I'd done something differently, Suichi would still be alive. You can't blame yourself, ma'am. It was the culprit's fault, not yours. Though I know that won't help any. Grief is funny like that. I'm guessing that's why you're after the rite. Guess I didn't need to ask. It's written all over your face. I can tell how much he meant to you. But, and this is a big but, this rite is the real deal. Using it will mean killing someone and stealing their soul. Is that a problem? If it comes to that, I'm afraid I'll have to stop you. Oh, that's a shame. A shame, huh? And that's all? I thought, if I'm going to be competing with other curse bearers, your detective skills might come in useful. You realize you're talking about ending someone's life, right? Don't you see an issue with that? I think any parent in my position would happily kill for a chance like this. That's so, is it? Dear, oh dear. What have I gotten myself into? It makes you uncomfortable. Then you won't have to get any blood on your hands yourself. I don't need to kill the other curse bearers. I only need you to find them. I won't be party to murder, ma'am. Not even for a client. Oh, jeezums. How much can I give you to change your mind? Sorry, ma'am, but not everyone has a price. Got my policies and I stick to them. I see. I didn't realize you were so stubborn. Let me say, though, it's not like I don't get what you're going through. As long as you're not killing anyone with your own hands, maybe I can help you out. What do you have in mind? Well, how about stealing someone else's curse stone after they filled it with soul dregs? If that was all you were after, then I could lend you my services guilt-free. If the other curse bearers want to kill each other, that's their business. I'm not trying to be a hero here. I guess there's no guarantee a stolen curse stone will work, but we can worry about that later. Well, then I suppose we have a deal. Although, what if I stole a curse stone using my curse? Would you disapprove? That would void our contract, ma'am. Just warning you, you know. My. You know, we still need to figure out exactly what you want me to do. Tell you what, why don't I tell you what I found, then we can make a decision. All right? Let's do the curse first, and then we'll come back to that. Before we go any further, why don't you tell me about that curse of yours? The haunting clappers, was it? That's one of the 7 mysteries of Honjo, if I remember correctly. That's right. The original story did happen somewhere near here, I think. I'm sure I remember hearing it. In that case, my money would be on all the curse bearers being somewhere in Honjo. Our first move should be to narrow them down. Some of them are bound to try and come for you first. We'll need to be ready. The curse makes their bearers more willing to kill, so an attack could come from anywhere. That sounds sensible. And if I remember correctly, your haunting clappers can set people on fire, but only if they have a naked flame or a lighter on their person, is that right? That's right. In olden times, wooden clappers were used to warn people of fire. I'm guessing it punishes those who didn't heed the warning. Seems like a good curse to have. It's simple and straightforward enough to use. Although, it's hard to say how it stacks up without knowing what else is on the table. You really think it's that good? The target can't do much to throw it off, and it has a nice long activation window. It's big that it works on lighters too. Just slip one into your target's pocket. And say that conditions were already fulfilled before they even know you're there. They wouldn't even know what hit them. Maybe I won't have to actually use it. I could just tell someone I could, and they'd have to do what I said. Threats could work, although without any proof, it'll come down to how convincing you can be. If only you could use the curse, then back out at the last second. The last second? What an interesting idea. I have a lighter right here. We could try it now. That's an interesting proposition. But maybe not. I'm not quite crazy enough to make myself a guinea pig. Oh, I see. You're an odd one, ma'am, if you don't mind me saying. And I don't think it's just the curse. You flatterer. I don't think that was a compliment. For what to do next, first of all, I think we should stay indoors. Try not to do anything spontaneous or outside of your normal routine. Right, then have you decided what you want me working on? Ah. There's probably two different parts that you can go down. Finally, I have a lead. I need to know what happened to my son. Your wish is my command, ma'am. I'll focus all my efforts on looking into the kidnapping. Although something just occurred to me. You can't investigate the matter at night, can you? At least until the sun rises. Could you search for the other curse bearers? All right, I see how it is. Well, I'd be happy to help. Odds are good that the other curse bearers are also working by night. Anyone they kill under the cover of darkness won't be discovered until sunrise. I meant they'll be trying to do as much as they can before morning comes. So it's settled then. I'll look into the other curse bearers by night. And once the city wakes up and I can start asking questions, I'll investigate the kidnapping as well. I'll even try and find Miss Shiraishi as part of the bargain. Thank you. That's more than enough. Now then, I should get to work. There's only so much time before sunrise. I'll call you if I find anything new. You stay here and keep a lookout. All right. There's no telling what kind of curses you might find out on the streets tonight. Don't go outside if you can help it. Try to be ready for anything. I will. Well, if that's all, I should be going. Here we go. A nice thought. It'll be interesting. I wonder if these paths will actually join or not. Dun, dun, dun. A nice thought. Hare Shigema 1 a.m. Shigema Mansion reception room. It's been almost an hour since Richter left. He promised he'd call me if anything happened. But he hasn't. So all I can do is wait and wait. I think I've done all of these. What's this? What's this? A newspaper. Must have fallen off the chair. It's a newspaper. I only leave them in here for the guests. I hardly ever read them myself. I don't think I've taken the time to go over one in years, in fact. Well, it's not like I have anything better to do. Oh. Interesting. We're gonna educate ourselves. Looks like the city's biggest problem right now is pollution. I remember how the air and water used to be even more polluted. The river was covered in scum from all the sewage and industrial waste. And it stank so badly it made my eyes water. Eventually people started getting sick and it couldn't be ignored anymore. Fortunately, it's gotten better since then. Although the air around the industrial district is still filthy with gas and smog. Sorts of articles about the current state of the economy. Now that the post-war boom has passed its peak, we're moving into the era of large corporations. It's about 220 to 230 yen to the dollar. Oh boy. Oh, that's worse. Okay, so that's worse than what it is currently. Because currently it's like, what, like 150 yen to the dollar? Manufacturing is on the rise and exports are healthy. The dollar's down from its height and people are saying it could fall further. There's no denying how much the standard of living has improved in the past few years. It's common to own a car and television now, and supermarkets are better stocked than ever. Now that everyone has more spending money to go around, people are coming up with all kinds of new diversions. It seems like only yesterday that people were flocking to the arcades to shoot aliens. But now we have these enormous theme parks and gaming machines that plug straight into our televisions. Everyone's talking about superhero series, foreign films, and movies based on the latest bestseller. Back in my day, fusion rock and folk music was all the rage. But now it's all about city pop and idols. I find it hard to care about that sort of thing anymore. Everyone attends high school now, even girls. Universal education policy, they call it. The country's gotten rich enough that every child can go to school. Education is the backbone of modern society. If you want to work for a good company, you have to get into a good university. With more people in the running than ever, the competition to get into those universities has gotten fierce, though. The new generation is rebelling. Schoolyard violence and delinquency are on the rise. But my boy was too sensible to get mixed up in any of that. I don't want to read anymore. It'll only remind me of him. Ah, okay. I don't really watch much television. It feels as if all the information in the world gets passed through that little black box. But Father stopped them from reporting on the kidnapping back when it happened. I'm glad about that. Less fuss. So the other ones don't have check marks. Now the comedy boom is over, all the comedians are flocking to other genres. The occult seems really popular at the moment. Look at all these paranormal specials. I hear the new big thing is some mascot line of delinquent birds. Mockingbirds, I think it's called. What was that, was that what Richter was talking about? Trends seem to have such a short life now. With how quickly the times are changing. I think I'm just too old to keep up anymore. It's young people who are leading the way with their modern worldviews. My generation will only fall further behind. Although with everyone flocking to the city, land prices are skyrocketing. Nowadays, most people can only dream of home ownership. Ain't that the truth? The city center is going to be nothing but apartments before long. Not exactly a businesswoman, so this all feels like another world to me. Okay, real, how much does a banana cost? $5, $6? Kind of energy going on there. If there's one thing Honjo never wants for, it's horrific crimes. They found a police officer dead in a local park just the other day. A lot of my family are in the police. I hope it wasn't anybody I knew. I don't read the news anymore, not since last year. It brings back bad memories. Oh. Still more. Suicide at local high school. Oh, I remember that. A high school girl jumped off a roof about a week ago. She was bullied, I think. Or maybe it was something about exam pressure. What? But... No. This can't be right. Her name. Michio Shiraishi. From Komogata High School. It can't be. Oh? Interesting. I don't think there's any others. Oh, there's a lot more to go. I'm looking for the... Mockingbirds, 49. What's the next one? Approach the net. A bottom shelf surrounded by darkness. Okay. Should I put a record on? No, it's too late for that. I'm not in the mood for music anyway. How interesting. Let's see if there is any more birds. There's not. Michio Shiraishi. The same girl who witnessed my son's kidnapping committed suicide last week. But that means... Mr. Jinochi was terrified of someone who already died. Is that what he meant by a curse? Can't work this out on my own. Maybe Richter will know. Why won't he call? Oh, I haven't left it off the hook, have I? I'm waiting for Richter to contact me, but he hasn't. I've made sure the receiver is on the hook. It'll ring as soon as he calls. Ah. That must be him. Hello. Shiguma residence. Our Shiguma, 2 a.m. Komagata Bridge. Richter called me out to meet him, and we came here to Komagata Bridge. Richter, there's something I need to tell you. Funny. I was just thinking the same thing. Can you look around? Is there a bird? There is a bird. Mockingbird number 18. Oh. I guess it's supposed to be chained, but yes. Yeah. There you go. Oh, so they're all over the place then, huh? Really am gonna have to look around a lot. We're on Komagata Bridge over the Sumida River. There's a highway on one side and a freeway on the other, but they're both deserted this late at night. Komagata Bridge. One of the bridges spanning the Sumida River, completed in 1927 as part of the reconstruction effort following the Great Kanto earthquake. It is notable both for its distinctive blue arches and the cutting edge for the time techniques used in its construction. There are many bridges stretching across the Sumida River, each boasting a unique structural form and design. He's gazing down at the water. What does he see down there, I wonder? Please go ahead. All right then. I've been poking around places connected to the Seven Mysteries, looking for curse bearers. And I think I found a few candidates. First, a tall man I ran into in Kinchibori Park. I asked him for directions, trying to probe him a little, but he turned the questions right back around on me. And he was out of there the second he figured I wasn't what he was looking for. I got the sense curses were nothing new to him. I'm about 40% sure he's a curse bearer. Then there's this middle-aged guy I saw on South Waragasuishi. There's no question about this one. He had one of the curse stones in his hand. He had a nervous air about him, too. It was clear he was up to some shady business. Gathering soul dregs, I'd bet, would make a good target. Next up is a pair, a young man and a woman I saw around Ryogoku Bridge. This time the man came up to me and asked me flat out if I was a curse bearer. I told him I didn't know what he was talking about and he backpedaled and left. Looks like they lurk around there often. Looking for kindred spirits would be my guess. No, it didn't seem like they were quite working as a pair. Gathering soul dregs in a group might be a decent idea if you can make it work. But with things being how they are, it's gotta be hard to find folks one can trust. They got brass, though. I don't know what their deal is, but I'd like to find out. Last is two detectives I've seen sniffing around. The police are involved. The police are involved? Not necessarily. A body turned up in a local park a few days ago, but they might just be looking into that. Still, the park's got ties to one of the Seven Mysteries. Might be it was a curse that did the guy in. But if they're sending in detectives from the head office, then something's gotta be up. So in this timeline, I'm assuming Shogo is already dead. Right, because we met the tall man, which obviously in one timeline Shogo kills. How do you know where they're from? Let's just say, when you're in this business, there's some faces you get to know. Anyway, that's everyone who's caught my eye. You found all of them in so little time. I really did hire the best. It's all in the name, ma'am. Richter Kai, P.I. No, wait. Make that Richter Kai, Investigator Extraordinaire. My, an Investigator Extraordinaire? Is that why you can dress like that without drawing attention to yourself? You bet. An investigator extraordinaire can blend in like a chameleon in any outfit. All that aside, the middle-aged man and the young couple sound the most promising, am I right? Whichever we pick, it's still too early to make a move. Seems like the curse bearers are less involved with each other than we thought. Plus, there's still others we don't know about. I say we hang fire and see how things play out. Once more bodies start showing up, that'll get the pot nice and hot. And once it's boiling, our chance will come. There's something I need to tell you. What's up? Well, that girl, Michio Shiraishi. The one who was with Suichi on the day of the kidnapping. That's her, well, she's dead. She's what? The student who committed suicide last week. That was her. I heard something like that had happened. Never got the name, though. Talk about bad luck. You finally get a lead, only to find it's turned into a literal dead end. Unless her death was the whole reason Jonochi was shaken up. Said she was going to curse him. Was he talking about her taking revenge from beyond the grave? It seems like we're back where we started. Not necessarily. A teacher knows something, I'm sure of it. At the very least, I'd put money on him having something to do with Miss Shiraishi's death. And that's why he's so scared of being cursed by her. I see. And also, something tells me he knows more about your son's kidnapping. In any case, I think I've got a good idea of what he's hiding. Call it a hunch. A hunch? Well, more of a theory. Care to take a guess? I don't know. I can't say for certain, but... What if Mr. Jinoichi silenced Michio Shiraishi with murder? What do you think? I see, so you think Miss Shiraishi's death might not have been suicide. That would certainly give him a good reason to think she'd hold a grudge, but I'm not sure I buy it. That might be a little far-fetched. I see. I'm sorry I disappointed you. I'm not really cut out to play detective. Well, no point drilling on speculation. The truth will out in time. Right now, I think we need to have another chat with Mr. Jinoichi. Standing around is the last thing I want to be doing right now. This is my only chance to bring back my son. I can't afford to fritter it away. Didn't you want to tell me something? I've already said everything I want to say. Oh, Sumida. The Sumida River. The water is filthy and horrid, but at night when it's still, it looks almost peaceful. Can I ask you something, ma'am? The Sumida River, what Honjo folks picture when you think of home? I couldn't say. All I can tell you is that I can hardly stand the sight of it. Right, should have guessed. This was where they found him after he went missing. All alone, floating in that horrible water. All I can think is how scared he must have been. How cold he must have been. What did he ever do to deserve something so awful? I've come here every day since then. And I prayed the river to give him back. To give me back my son. Day after day after day. You know, in olden times, people believed rivers marked where our world met the next. So the act of crossing flowing water had a huge amount of spiritual significance. Back when Edo was founded, the people of Chuo saw the Sumida River the same way. They associated the far side of the river with the afterlife. The same place would later become Honjo. All their fear and revulsion accumulated there and took root. But then the Ryogoku Bridge sprang up after the Great Fire of Meireki. And just like that, Honjo was part of the city too. And as it turned from farmland into a town, the people surrounded it with man-made rivers and crisscrossed it with canals and waterways. Weren't those to prevent flooding? That's what I was told. They were, but that's not all they were for. Their other purpose was to contain all the corruption that had built up on the far shore. And stop it leaking through to our side of the Great Divide. Officially, they were a physical barrier, but unofficially, they were a spiritual one too. So if I have this right, are you saying that Honjo is a place where the real world meets the afterlife? Exactly. That's why the rite of resurrection is here, rather than anywhere else, I'm sure of it. And it's probably why the 7 mysteries and their curses have survived to the modern day. And I guess that would make this spot we're standing right now, right over the water, the border between life and death. If there was ever a place where bringing back the dead might be possible, I reckon it's here. It's funny that you mentioned praying to the river. I might have done more than you think. Is that supposed to make me feel better? Just thinking aloud, ma'am. Well, it's a nice thought. Sumida River. A Class A river that is part of the Arakawa River system, which runs through much of eastern Tokyo and empties into Tokyo Bay. During the Edo period, Sumida's riverbanks played a key role in the transportation of lumber used for construction. In addition to its logistical importance, it was also a place for the common folk to gather and enjoy activities such as seasonal flower viewing or river bathing, and there exist many woodblock prints depicting such activities. The area became plagued with sewage issues when the surrounding environs were industrialized to the post-war period, but the situation has improved since. The Ryogoku and Azumabashi bridges, which attract a large number of visitors at sightseeing spots. Massive fireworks displays in the summer are also always sure to draw a crowd. The river has served as a cornerstone for both the city and its people, having both aided in its development and serving as an inspiring backdrop for countless works of art and literature. Oh, that's right. There's one more memory I have of this river. Do you mind if I tell you? Go ahead. It must have been about 20 years now when I was still a schoolgirl. Back then, the Sumida River was much filthier than it is now. It was full of garbage and industrial discharge. It was scummy and slimy, and it stank. You could look out over the water and see dead cats and dogs and pigeons just floating. And one day, among all the filth and garbage, there was a piece of my missing classmate's hand. What? It was almost a miracle when you stopped to think about it. What were the chances that someone would find a part of her that was still recognizable? And that although everything but the palm had rotted away in the water, the part that was left would have an identifiable scar. And that they could tell it had been a murder from the blade marks on the bone. Oh, wait. Are you talking about the Nejima murders? So you've heard of it? I'm impressed. I assume you were but an elementary schooler at that time. I wasn't really aware of it then. I only heard about it after the fact. I had no idea the victim was a classmate of yours. Actually wanted to look at that. Fumichika Nejima. The man who made the headlines over 2 decades ago as the perpetrator of the brutal killings known as the Nejima murders. I have new. Yeah, the Nejima murders overview. The Nejima murders overview, a notorious case from over 2 decades ago involving the murder of a female high school student. It first came to the attention of the authorities when part of a human left hand was discovered floating in the Sumida River. Testing revealed it belonged to a missing female high school student. As it appeared to have been severed deliberately, the police launched a murder investigation. A large-scale search of the river was organized, but the highly polluted state of the water made it impossible. Visibility was poor, the stench was intense, and the divers quickly fell ill. Like the Seine, apparently. Alright. They succeeded in recovering only the victim's head and what appeared to be part of her leg before the search was called off. At the time of the incident, the Sumida River was as polluted as it had ever been. Neither fish nor shellfish could survive in it, eventually causing the annual fireworks festival to be called off indefinitely. Over the course of the search, the police discovered a number of unidentified human bones. This caused a stir among the public, as several other young women had gone missing in recent years in the Tokyo area, and it was feared that they may have fallen victim to the same fate. Forensic technologies at the time, however, were not advanced enough to determine the identities of the deceased, and so the police were unable to open any inquiries. Due to the overwhelming lack of circumstantial evidence, the investigation ground to a halt until a hitherto unrelated individual came to its attention. During a question about a separate incident, Fumichika Nejima, a 36-year-old shop owner with no relation to the victim, divulged details about her that had never been released to the general public. An investigation in this background was conducted, leading to his arrest. Nejima testified that he had snatched his victim from the street and confined her in the underground storeroom of his shop, which also served as his living quarters. He chose her for no special reason, but simply decided she was an opportune target on seeing her walking alone at night. After keeping her locked up for several days, he restrained her, sewed her mouth shut, and severed her fingers and toes with a box cutter while she was still conscious. As she screamed silently behind her sealed lips, he proceeded to her wrists, her ankles, her elbows, her knees, working his way inward slowly and methodically. His victim constantly wavered in and out of consciousness. Her ordeal continued until she died of blood loss. Nejima dismembered the rest of her body and disposed of it behind his home in the Sumida River before cleaning the storeroom and returning to his everyday routine as if nothing had happened. The brutality of his actions shocked the nation when they were eventually reported. Once apprehended, Nejima readily divulged the details of the murder but was less willing to explain his motive. When asked, he would only break down in tears saying, "I don't know what came over me, I know it was wrong." In the end, the police could extract nothing more from him than expressions of remorse. Although the efficiency of his methods strongly suggested he had committed similar crimes in the past, no corroborating evidence ever came to light. Nejima was sentenced to life in prison at his first hearing. The sentence was imposed with no appeal from the defendant. Okay, that's a little dark and brutal. Don't know what I was expecting, but in the world of curses, that is a really messed up murder right there. Alrighty. To be honest, it was all a bit of a blur. A wave of chaos just parting around me. Something like that. They said the rest of her body must have sunk to the bottom of the river. They combed the riverbed, but they only ever found pieces. Everything else must have rotted and flowed out to sea. Afterwards, I heard that all the divers who had been looking for her fell ill. A sorry story for everyone involved, huh? It's funny. Everyone figures the river's filthy already, so one more piece of garbage won't hurt. And every little bit makes it worse. It's a vicious cycle. I know I wouldn't want to go rooting around down there myself. That's right, which is why the riverbed is the last place anybody would go looking. Or so was the killer's thinking, I suppose. The times were changing quickly back then. Things were confusing. Everything seemed to be in a hurry. Young people were moving to Tokyo in droves. Some even ran away from home to make it in the big city. And they made easy targets for bad people. A lot of them ended up disappearing without a trace. You see, back then, if you chopped a body up into tiny pieces and threw it in the river, it would rot quickly and discreetly and sink to the bottom, never to be seen again. Are you saying what I think you're saying? They arrested him shortly after, Fumichika Nejima, the man who killed my classmate and cut her into pieces. He was so methodical about it, it couldn't have been his first crime. And people began to wonder how many other girls he'd murdered the same way. The police never found any evidence of other murders in the end, but the river knows the truth. How many corpses has it swallowed up over the years, I wonder? That same thought spread through everyone's mind, and they started to avoid this area. So really, this river has been rank with corruption for decades now. Or at least that's how it seems to me. Well, was that interesting? I can see why you don't have any good memories of this river. With all the darkness lurking beneath the surface, there's no reason that you would. Still, if I may, ma'am, I'm surprised you know so much about the Nejima murders. But how could I not? After all, I was the one who found the hand. I don't know if that's all you did. Not gonna lie. Huh? The police actually wrote me a thank you letter. They said it was only thanks to me that they managed to bring Nejima to justice. That was the only time my father ever said he was proud of me. Huh? I guess it just wasn't that killer's day. Sometimes I wonder if he resents me for it. Oh, they're great. There's more. There's not a checkbox. There's more. Can't wait to see where else this goes. The Sumida River. I have nothing but awful memories of it. Alright, well. At least that was the last of it. Where else am I gonna get jump scared? You know? Is something wrong? Not really. It just struck me. It's been 20 years since the Nejima murders. So it has. Not to spook you or anything, but I thought you might be interested in knowing. Life in prison doesn't always mean life. There's precedent for first-time offenders being allowed out on parole after 20 years. Only if they found to show remorse and the desire to reform themselves, of course. That's right, I'm impressed you know so much. Still, it's hard for someone with a criminal record to reintegrate into society. I hear they've been trying to fix that recently, matching inmates with jobs and accommodation. Oh, really? Keep an eye on them, of course, and make them report in for regular checkups. But to avoid discrimination, they keep the inmates' records a secret from everybody but their employers. And they even give practically notorious criminals new identities, so they won't be recognized at the workplace. My, the way you put it. It's like you're saying Fumichika Nejima could be out on parole right now, back in society under new name, with nobody any the wiser. It's possible. As it happens, a little birdie told me about a big name making parole a few months back. I don't know if that was Nejima, but our discussions just now did bring it to mind. I see. How unsettling. Now that you mention it, I just remembered something too. What was it? I was passing Komagata High School a little while ago when I saw someone. Well, that's Shogo. A janitor, I think. And I could have sworn he oh no, maybe a different person. That's not Shogo. I could have sworn he reminded me of Fumichika Nejima. But I'm pretty sure Shogo is dead in this timeline currently. Oh? He looked a little different after 20 years. Much thinner than I remember too. I told myself I was just seeing things. But perhaps it was him after all. So, what's next? The big question now is what the rest of the curse bearers are up to. Luckily, the Sumida River is a good distance from any of the 7 mysteries. It's unlikely the other curse bearers will come all the way here. You can finally have a moment to think. I see. All right. Interesting. Let me save real quick, just in case I mess the suspend up. You cannot currently progress any further. Once your situation has changed, select resume to try again. Pressing suspend will return you to the story chart. Oh, interesting. Okay. Once your situation has changed, I guess I have to progress some more stories then. Alright, Tetsuo Tsutsumi. Let's find out what your story's all about. Crime scene investigation, Tetsuo Tsutsumi. Tetsuo Tsutsumi, Chief Inspector of the Metropolitan Police Department, 1st Investigative Division, is investigating the mysterious death of a fellow officer. He visits the scene of the incident, the former Yasuda Gardens, with his subordinate, June Eri. Hey boss, forensics is all done. Crime scene's clean. The other officers have all gone home. It's just us now. The park should be able to open back up tomorrow like nothing ever happened. I doubt it'll get many visitors after everything that's happened. You'd be surprised. Lots of people love that kind of thing. I bet they'll be lining up to get in. Cult stuff's really popular right now. Did you not know that, boss? Sounds stupid. Well, it's not exactly rooted in science, but... if ghosts really did exist, we could just ask them who the perp is. Somehow I doubt it'd be that simple. Oh, but you know, I heard that high school girls are really into the spirit board thing these days. Supposedly you can call on spirits and talk to them by using a board with letters on it. Wouldn't that be something? You can try it out yourself if you're so interested. Hey, that's not a bad idea. Let's give it a go sometime, boss. What now? Stop messing around. You really think we're gonna solve this case by moving a coin across a scrap of paper? Sounds like you know all about it. You gotta be open-minded. What if that's how the police work is gonna be from now on? Don't make me laugh. Spirit board. Due to the occult craze, divination has become popular among young boys and girls. All one needs is a coin and a piece of paper with letters and numbers written on it. Using these, all one has to do is ask a question of the called upon spirit, and it will move the coin and answer. It's believed to be a tool that was adopted from Western spiritualism and molded by Japanese occult enthusiasts. Though it's considered a form of divination, the ritualistic nature of its usage can cause self-hypnosis or autosuggestion, leading to hallucinations or symptoms similar to spirit possession. Many schools banned these spirit boards after there were several cases of students sneaking into schools at night, in addition to stories of people having seizures when using the boards. Listen up, Ario. Can't go blaming the death of your buddy on something like the occult. I don't care if it was ghosts or the occult or what. Whoever or whatever it was that did this. I'll get them. I promise you that. Well, you've got the right attitude, but we don't even know that if this is a murder yet. Biases weaken our judgment. Get too fixated on one thing and you stop seeing everything else. Aye, aye, boss. So now that we've finished investigating, let's review what we know. Now it's getting late. Figured we'd head straight home from here. Come on, we've got to go over all the info we've gathered. What better place to do that than here at the scene of the crime, where we can soak up the atmosphere? Soak up the atmosphere? The hell is there to soak up? Must be really into the occult stuff if you get off on being in a place like this. Wait, you mean being somewhere like this doesn't get your blood pumping? No way. Oh no, don't turn this around on me. I'm not the weird one here. Cripes. Oh, fine, let's just get this over with. Aye, aye, boss. Hey, do we have, are there any birds over here? I don't see any birds. Going up. Birds. Birds. Mockingbirds. I don't see anything. Bridge over there. Pond. Alright. The former Yasuda Gardens here in Yokohama Ichome. Yokohama Ichome were originally built as part of a daimyo's estate back in the Edo period. The park became city property a number of years ago and underwent extensive renovations. There's not a soul around at this time of night. Quiet doesn't even begin to describe it. This pond, they say it used to flow into the Sumida River. The river became so polluted that they cut it off. Makes sense. Where you go? There you are. Where'd you go? Junario, a detective in the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department. 1st Investigative Division. His rank is Sergeant. This is his first time leading a case. It's like he's graduated from rookie to newbie. Looks put together on the outside, but acts like a kid most of the time. Honestly, the force could use more people like him. Was there anything? What else we got here? Approach the net, a bottom shelf surrounded jackpot. Late at night on the way home, look up at the first house. Among the morning green, before hearing the history, in the bright garden if you won the late lottery. The bright garden. So I was wondering. Wait until you feel like yourself again. Detectives and private eyes. A ringing telephone booth. The excited detective waiting at the entrance. In a park where the sparrows sing. Waiting at the intersection. Pink Punisher. Oh, that's just the names of them. A unique looking playground. Revisiting the park at night. Alright. But either way, I'm so glad you're back in the first position, boss. I always admired your work. You were like a god to me. You were the whole reason I became a detective in the first place. Well, yeah, about that. People have been saying that ever since you first entered the academy, but... Yes, that's because it's true. I couldn't believe you got transferred out of the first just as I was assigned to it. So getting to work a case like this now, just the two of us, is a dream come true. Because I am to hear that, well, how should I put it? What is it? That's true. I'm not sure you've been showing me the appropriate amount of respect. Huh? But I do respect you. Don't tell me you're going senile, boss. That's exactly what I'm talking about. When you run your mouth like that. It's getting late. You must be sleepy. Don't worry, boss. I'll make sure we get out of here soon. Yeah, I get it. Been wowed by your shrewd detecting abilities all day today. Oh, really? Funny. I have been wowed by you too. I've been wowed by your shrewd. Oh, interesting. So it won't let me continue on there. All right. So early in the morning yesterday, a staff member found the victim collapsed here in the park and called the police when they realized he was dead. Fun. There was no obvious external wounds. The fact that he was a police officer and the evidence of a struggle means it's likely that this was a murder. The Sumida office sent it over to us since it involved the death of an officer, and we were tasked with the investigation. What we need to do is figure out what happened and whether there was foul play involved. I think about sums things up. But boss? Yeah? Is this case really important enough to assign to someone from the investigation division? I mean, a friend of mine died, so it's important to me, but it's all up to the higher-ups. I'm sure they've got their reasons. Boss, you know something, don't you? It'll all become clear in time. Try not to worry about it too much. Thinking about it, the only thing we know for sure is the identity of the victim. Means there must have been something special about him, right? Maybe he knew something he wasn't supposed to. Some kind of secret or something. Isn't that right? You're pretty sharp sometimes, you know that? You picked up on that, you should be able to put the rest together yourself. Well, it's our duty to get to the bottom of the suspicious death, especially one involving an officer. The victim is Hajime Yoshimi, of the Juvenile Division of the Sumida City Community Safety Bureau. 27 years old, single. He mostly dealt with cases involving juveniles in education. Interesting. His rank was senior police officer. You knew him well, didn't you? What was he like? Yes, we were in the academy together. We still went out for drinks together every month or two. He could be a little rowdy, but he was like a big brother to us all. He was kind and cared about his friends. For better or worse, he wasn't the uptight type of cop. The man always showed empathy, and I heard he was popular with the locals for it. He treated each and every troubled kid he met with compassion. He had a great track record when it came to rehabilitation. It sounds like we lost a good one. Yes, we did. We truly did. I knew being a cop was dangerous. I knew something like this could happen, but it's never easy when it happens for real. I know the feeling. He didn't seem to care much about climbing the ranks, and he was at the top of our class. Only problem was that he took on so much. He had the most unfinished paperwork, too. I always felt we needed an unusual guy like him to help us solve all our unusual cases. Hajime Yoshimi. Hajime was a police officer with Sumida City Community Safety Bureau. He was primarily responsible for juvenile and education cases. He had held the rank of head patrol officer and entered the forces at the same time as Jun Ario. Hajime was found dead under mysterious circumstances at the former Yasuda Gardens early in the morning yesterday. Once a rebellious gang member himself, Yoshimi turned his life around and used his own experiences to connect with troubled youth as a police officer. While his appearance and demeanor suggested a man who was rough around the edges, he was a passionate, loyal, and caring man at heart. Looked up to as a big brother by his peers, Yoshimi achieved stellar results in his work with juvenile cases, but his consistently sloppy paperwork and less than formal attitude essentially doomed his career and had him writing formal apologies on the regular. He left behind a fiancée whom we had been dating since high school. Don't worry, you're plenty unusual yourself. Me? I was the most normal of my classmates. Besides, the real weirdo among us quit the academy a long time ago. There's one even weirder than you. Hajime was quite the bad boy in school. Apparently, he ended up with the police a lot. He said the officer in charge was good to him, helped him get back on track. The reason he wanted to become a cop was to pay his kindness forward. Said it was the first time he ever took his studies seriously. It's a good story. Love the kind of thing makes me want to have a drink in his honor. Please don't make fun of my dead friend.
Hey, I said in his honor. Should aspire to become the kind of cop people miss when they die in the field.
You say that like it's a sure thing I'll die. Besides, if I end up biting it, I'm sure you'll be the one who misses me most, boss. Come on, don't be like that. It'll hurt morale.
Well, I guess how much I'll miss you depends on how this investigation goes.
I can already see it. Ario, no. Why'd you have to go and get yourself killed?
I have no idea what's going on in that head of yours.
Yeah, that'll be a sight to see. I can't wait.
Can't wait for your own death. Get it together, kid. Sheesh, you really are something.
Thank you.
About the victim's family.
The Yoshimi family is from Kitasenchu in Adachi City, but Hajime's parents died a long time ago. He lived there all alone, no siblings or anything. I went to his house a few times for drinks. I was surprised. It's this huge, old-looking place. Like, you know, the kind of place that seems super haunted.
They live there alone.
It looked like the home of an old noble family. It was hard to imagine him being such a delinquent living in a house like that.
There's that bias I was talking about. He's from an old family, I'm sure things are complicated.
It's a bias, too. Never talked about any of that, even when we were drunk, so I don't know how much about it. Oh, and one more thing.
Yeah?
Hajime was engaged. He'd been seeing his fiancée ever since they were in school, over 10 years. And just started talking about getting married. What was her name again? Showed me a picture once. She was a beautiful woman.
That's so. How terrible for her. But you may know if there'd been anything going on with him lately, we should speak to her.
Yeah, his fiancée may have been his only confidant. I'm sure someone at the Sumida Police Department has already contacted her. I'll look into it tomorrow. Hey boss. I looked into the case that Hajime was running.
Oh great, that's the kind of stuff I want to know. What was Hajime working on the day he died?
Well, according to his report, the day before he had 2 cases involving juveniles.
Huh?
The first was the suicide of a high school girl who jumped off a building in Kamizawa last week.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that.
The girl's name was Michio Shiraishi. She was a second-year student at Komagata High School. But it seems as though Hajime had contact with her even before this incident.
So she'd been trouble for some time.
That's the thing. About a month ago, he happened to see her walking around town. She looked upset, so he struck up a conversation with her. He was sure there was something bothering her, but she wouldn't tell him what.
Must have been trouble at home.
That's what he thought too. Seems he visited her home and spoke to her parents, but they said there was no problem, so there was nothing else he could do. And now she's dead.
It's possible he could have prevented her suicide then.
He must have been devastated. And that's why he's looking into this Michio Shiraishi again. He must have thought that something terrible had happened that drove her to end her life. But ultimately, he never reported the findings of his investigation.
See, you're thinking that it may have had something to do with his death? To find out what it is Hajime discovered.
Right, let's check with the Sumida Police Department about that tomorrow, too.
There's so much. What was the other case he was working?
And this one is also related to Komagata High student. A troublemaker named Hitomi Okuda. She seems to be the leader of a group of kids who get up to no good.
Juvenile delinquency. Fun.
He was pretty bad for a while, multiple charges of destruction of property, assault and battery, you name it. Hajime had been working with her about 6 months. She was finally starting to open up.
Then he met with the girl the day he died.
Oh, sorry. Well, then he met with the girl the day he died.
Well, every school's got its problems. I'm sure he'd be more worried about how she'd get out without him.
Get on without him. Right. Just when she'd finally found an adult she could trust, she might not act out without someone to help her get through this. We'll have to make sure the Sumida
Community Safety Bureau does their job. But can't rule out the possibility that meeting with this delinquent girl had something to do with his death. Then we'll have to interview her, too.
Ah, yes, you're right. She may have been the last person to see him alive, after all. I'll ask Sumida to introduce us tomorrow. Though, who knows if they'll actually let us talk with her.
What we're hired you for. Lay a little boyish charm on them if they need convincing.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd prefer me over a scary-looking old man like you, boss.
Watch it. I'm still your superior. You gotta act like you respect me at least.
Oh, I thought I was.
You were? Shit, is that just how your generation speaks? You really are a new breed.
It's probably just me, actually.
Oh, well, don't think you can get away with that with other people.
So anyways, boss.
You even listening?
Got quite a bit to look into tomorrow. First, the two Kamagata High School students that Hajime was handling, and we need to speak with his fiancée as well. I believe that's it for tomorrow. Notes on Hajime Yoshimi. Case notes regarding the death of Hajime Yoshimi, officer with the Sumida Police. Body found at former Yasuda Gardens. Estimated time of death 2 days prior at approximately 11 a.m. Cause of death, acute heart failure, cause unknown. Signs of a struggle found at the scene, efforts to locate witnesses underway. Body discovered by groundskeeper. Currently investigating the fiancé of the deceased and 2 female students from Komagata High School, and the deceased had contact with those persons of interest. As for the cause of death, we won't know until the autopsy is done. From what we've seen, though, it appeared to be some kind of acute heart failure. But since he had no record of chronic illness and no visible wounds, it's possible that poison or drugs could have been involved.
Dying in the middle of the park like that certainly seems suspicious.
We found signs of a struggle at the scene as well as footprints belonging to an unidentified individual. We've got people trying to identify those prints.
If we can find who they belong to, we might be able to figure this whole thing out.
Yes, wouldn't that be nice if that were the end of it? The only things Hajime had on him were his badge and his wallet in his pockets.
So we can rule out a mugging. And there probably aren't many people who think to try mugging a cop as big as him.
I've also heard that Hajime got into a fair few fights in his younger days. Started judo once he became an officer and rose up the ranks quickly.
Sounds like the perp would have been pretty strong to take on Hajime.
Time of death was around 11 p.m. 2 days ago, outside the park's operating hours, of course. His body was found early in the morning yesterday. 11 p.m. the day before.
11 p.m. the day before yesterday. What was Hajime doing out here at the night in the first place?
That's the question, isn't it? The entrance of the park is closed after hours, but it's a small gate that'd be fairly easy for him to get through if he really wanted to. That would, of course, be breaking and entering, but what do you think, boss? I think someone probably called him here.
It's hard to imagine a cop like Hajime would trespass for no reason. Since it seems like someone else was here with him, they have called him here.
Oh, that does seem likely.
He must have been talking about something pretty sensitive to come here in the middle of the night. So Hajime met someone here to discuss something in secret.
And then they got into a fight?
No, that wouldn't match the cause of death. There were no wounds on the body that would indicate a spontaneous scuffle. Perp must have planned something.
Then you think it was meditated? Premeditated is the word you're looking for. That would mean they called Hajime to the park with the intent to kill him.
Well, there's still the possibility that it was just some kind of accident. Maybe the perp tried to threaten Hajime and things went south from there. We should be able to get a clearer picture once we know exactly what killed him.
Right. On the topic of family, what's yours like, boss?
What's wrong with you? Prying into my personal life all of a sudden?
It's just, I've never heard you talk about them or anything. Oh, are you single?
Shut it, that's none of your business.
Well, ever since I joined the force, I've been thinking. The department really pressures young officers to get married. I wonder why that is. They don't say anything like that, though.
Should I know? I caved to the pressure myself. I got married 20-some years ago.
Huh, so then... Wait a second. There's a different name. Are you? Because he got transferred right about the time that he started. Are you Harue's husband?
God, you're relentless.
She took our daughter and left 4 years ago. Oh, never mind. It helps if I just read what's on screen.
Thanks for reminding me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can't believe she'd give up a guy like you.
Yeah, I was never home much, too focused on work. Come home late only to get called right back out again, plus being a cop's dangerous work. I don't blame her for getting fed up with it all.
How sad, especially when you're out here putting your life on the line. Oh, is that why you transferred out of the first?
It's already too late by then. Better be careful, Ario.
You say that, but there's not much I can do, is there? That's the nature of our job. There aren't many who can really understand it, not unless they're involved with police work themselves, or related to someone who is. But wait, you have a daughter, boss?
Really think I want to talk about her after all that? Have some sense.
Come on, I promise I don't mean it this way it sounds, but how old is she?
Jeez, you don't know when to quit, do you? Just try not to look so intrigued. Well, she's a bit rough around the edges. I think most men are intimidated by her. Last I heard, she's living by herself and going to college.
It's not Yoko, is it? I'm trying to find all these connections with these people. Wow, a college student. Men love an educated lady.
Stop that. What kind of cop are you making baseless assumptions like that?
She's living on her own, though, huh? You must worry about her.
Worry? I don't even know where she lives.
No, so she hasn't told you? Probably because she knows you'd follow her around everywhere.
Would not, I don't think.
Come on now, we both know that's not true.
Listen here.
You may look like a mean old man, but you sure have a soft side.
What? That's supposed to be a compliment? I can't keep up with you. I'm done talking about this.
Oh, that reminds me. We got married 20 years ago. It must have been right around the Nechima murder.
You know your history. Yeah, that happened a year or two after our wedding.
You were the one who arrested the killer, weren't you? We studied that case at the academy. I was only in elementary school at the time, but I still remember people talking about some dangerous criminal getting arrested.
All that was just... cracking the case, finding the guy. It was all just happenstance. Really rather not think about it. It's a disturbing case. Did not make your skin crawl when you learned about it at the academy?
It did. We were all terrified.
Sounds about right. No one could believe that such a mild-mannered man could have committed such a terrible murder. If we'd overlooked one little thing, we may never have caught him at all.
I think I remember hearing there was only one charge brought against him in the end.
That's right. We didn't have the evidence. And there was no way such a meticulously planned crime could have been there first, but it may have stuck Fumichika Nejima in a cell. It was no victory. He's always had the upper hand. And all the damage he did to everyone involved, especially the victim's classmates. It's already been 20 years, huh? God damn it. This is why I try not to think about it.
I'm sorry. So, all this occult stuff, have you heard about it, boss?
What are you talking about?
The rite of resurrection thing that everyone's talking about.
No, not you too. I've been hearing about that shit everywhere.
Oh, you have? That's surprising.
Who cares what people are talking about? It's got nothing to do with our job.
Don't you think the occult stuff with this case feels, I don't know, realer somehow? The whole thing started right here in Honjo in Sumida City, so I thought that maybe...
Cut it out. Nothing good can come from getting involved with that rite or whatever. That record of fates.
Sounds like you know all about it. Boss, are you secretly into the occult?
Stop that, seriously. This isn't a joke. Get why you'd be intrigued by something called the Rite of Resurrection after a buddy of yours died, but bringing the dead back to life, that's the stuff of fantasy, it's not real. So don't go hoping for miracles, got it?
Scene. This is where the victim was found. Well, it's clean now. It almost feels like nothing happened here at all. But once an incident like this has come to pass, there's no going back. Not that knowing that is any consolation. Well, boss, I think that about does it.
Alright, let's call it tonight. See you tomorrow.
Oh my gosh. Every time.
God, what is that?
Huh? Boss, what's wrong? Don't tell me you're going senile.
Damn it! It was the case all along.
Boss? What is it? Is there something over there? Do not be fooled. The true lie. It is no rumor. Believe me. Something to see the truth.
Ugh!
Such deep sorrow. Resentful memories flowing until those who deceive its falsehoods are hung forever in eternal darkness.
The game?
Kill them. Kill them. Those who spread lies. Kill them all. You've acquired the Curse Stone, the Evergreen Beach. You can use it to kill those who intentionally try to mislead you. Press the use curse button when someone lies to you. Oh, that's fun. Oh. Oh. Kills by hanging one who tries to mislead the curse bearer with false statements. He deceived us with the so-called Rite of Resurrection, the man who tricked the people with his false dark arts swinging from a rope. They thought the man had escaped the previous night, but oddly enough, he was found hanging in the garden of the daimyo's mansion that morning. The man, a local named Jinkichi, was known for his kind temperament and skill in crafting Netsuke clasps. While his life wasn't always easy, he was optimistic. The type of smile thought through whatever life threw at him. He was the kind of man who would take care of those who didn't have anyone else to rely on. The prosperity that the ukiyo-e boom brought must have been what fanned the flames of his greed. The old craftsman was found in a miserable state, as if sentenced to some cruel fate. Perhaps he'd ended his own life, unable to bear the weight of his crime. But dead men tell no tales, and the people thought of him as a bad man even in death. He hung there for days till his neck stretched horrifically, a visage of pain still etched on his face. It was clear he must have struggled greatly as he died, his flesh marked with dark scars with a rope wrapped around his whole body. The beech tree's leaves do not fall, and neither did the man's body hanging from it. As the mansion's owner was not at home, another unfortunate event. The people held their tongues, fearing divine punishment, but rumors persisted nonetheless.
The murderous impulse seeps into my soul like thick black tar.
Now, kill. Can you hear it, curse bearer? You who so strongly desires the right, kill them. But why does he desire the right? Boss! Boss! Boss, what's the matter? Don't tell me you really went senile.
Sorry, I'm fine. Ario.
Yes?
I have some bad news.
Oh no. Your senility is kicking in, isn't it?
No, we've got a bit of trouble on our hands. Looks like we'll be working some overtime. We're not going home tonight.
Huh? What are you talking about? One. The Hunt for the Curse Bearers, Part 1. Tetsuo Tsutsumi, 12 a.m. Former Yasuda Gardens. Okay, so let me get this straight, boss. The rite of resurrection really exists. And to use it, you have to kill people using the power of curses from the 7 mysteries of Honjo. And the curse you have is the story of the Evergreen Beach that's told in this area. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much. You're quick on the uptake.
You weren't usually silly. You weren't your usual silly self when you were explaining, so I knew you were telling the truth.
Never silly.
The only thing I have trouble believing is that you're taking this occult stuff seriously now. I mean, talking about paranormal, I thought you didn't believe in any of that.
It's not that I don't believe in it. My familiarity with it is why I try not to get too close.
Are you just being a sore loser? Not used to admitting you were wrong?
Oh, shut up and listen to me. No point trying to hide things anymore. We won't get anywhere if you don't understand this, so listen up. Please, just listen.
You don't have to keep saying it, I'm listening.
I don't have time to waste, we'll talk as we walk.
Hey, wait for me, boss. Little saxophone. Now we're going down to the Ryugoko Bridge. Didn't I saw a bird here, didn't I? I did. When I was talking to Yutaro. Sorry, I just wanted to double check one thing. You're telling the truth, right? This isn't a side effect of your senility?
It's the truth, not like I can prove it, though.
I can't see anything.
Not stupid, but he's sure gonna be slow sometimes. I think that positivity of his may come in handy at some point.
I think it's behind me. I think it's on that big ball. That's where it is. If I'm remembering correctly. I could be verbing completely wrongly.
You already know this, but this is all top secret. No sharing with anyone.
Right, you can trust me not to. But, no, I just can't believe it. I'd heard rumors that you used to be a member of a secret division attached to the Security Bureau. Can't believe we actually have a department called Paranormal Affairs.
Yeah, I'm sure it comes as a shock. Couldn't believe it myself. Now the higher-ups are messing with me. They had me worried for a while there.
No, this is incredible. It's the whole reason I became a cop. I was always fascinated by secret agencies and stuff.
Serious?
Thinking about it, it totally makes sense if curses and spirits really do exist. And of course we need a special department to protect citizens from them. I don't see it.
Seem a bit too eager to believe in all this. Hang on, I thought you joined up because of me.
Come on, boss. Do you only have one favorite food? And like more than one thing?
Yeah, whatever. In any case, the official stance is that the supernatural doesn't exist. Paranormal Affairs operates in secret. Still not sure why they stuck me there. It's 4 years, with nothing but cases involving the supernatural.
Paranormal Affairs Bureau. Although officially called the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department Security Division Special Security Unit Paranormal Affairs Bureau, it is more commonly referred to simply as Paranormal Affairs. Only a handful of people know of its existence, even within the even within the police force. As the name suggests, it specializes in the investigation and resolution of cases involving paranormal phenomenon. Since the existence of paranormal phenomenon is not public knowledge, nor is it readily believed by the general population, the Bureau's activities are conducted in the utmost secrecy. Currently, there are only 5 members, including the chief. The Bureau has a network of psychic contacts across the country who assist with their cases, including Mio Kurozusu. The Bureau undertakes investigations into any suspicious stories that cross their desk, though the vast majority turn out to be hoaxes. Due to the sheer volume of cases, closed-lipped, experienced detectives without paranormal abilities of their own, such as Tetsuo Tsutsumi, are sometimes assigned to investigate. The current chief of Paranormal Affairs is a man named Kuryo Nakagoshi. He was born to a family of psychics who have been involved in keeping the world safe from paranormal phenomenon for generations, and has served as Mio Kurozusu's mentor since discovering her. Kuryu is an elusive figure. Very few have met him in person, and he is rarely seen in the office. It is said that this is because he has oft been the target of curses. However, some theorize that it is in fact because Kuryu is not actually of flesh and blood at all. The seat in his office is usually occupied by a Nue, a legendary creature found in Japanese folklore. The Nue resembles an ordinary white's thrush and acts as Kuryu's messenger. Leading to bizarre scenes of police officers earnestly reporting their findings to a bird. The term Nakagoshi case serves as a code name used to refer to cases under investigation by Paranormal Affairs. Oh. This department that Shogo Okio met in Midoricho Park, but he didn't. But he did. But he didn't. Jun encountered the curse echo while investigating the mysterious death of his colleague, Hajime Yoshimi, in the former Yasuda Gardens with Tetsuo Tsutsumi. When Tetsuo explained to him that the supernatural was real, he accepted the fact without a moment's hesitation and vowed to help his partner. Born to a relatively well-off household, Jun developed a healthy sense of self-esteem and an optimistic outlook on life. Although watching action movies and detective series as a child instilled in him a desire to help those in need, it was the sight of Tetsuo Tsutsumi, who was in charge of investigating a case Jun was involved in as a student, that truly inspired him to become a police officer. While Jun still maintains a strong respect for Tetsuo, he also gets much enjoyment out of making casual cracks to get a rise out of the veteran officer. As an adult, Jun continues to hold on to the faint hope that the world is as he pictured in his youth, a thrilling place in which superhuman heroes do battle against secret evil organizations. He attended the police academy with Richter Kai, who is now a private investigator. The two initially became friendly when Jun found Richter holed up alone in the reference room scouring over old crime data, and invited him to go bowling, a popular pastime during this era. Tetsuo is a veteran detective with the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department, 1st Investigative Division. He was possessed by the Evergreen Beach Curse Echo while investigating the former Yasuda Gardens, previously a member of the Secret Paranormal Affairs Bureau. Within the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department Security Division, he makes use of his experience to investigate the ongoing large-scale curse incident with his partner Jun Ario. Rather than sitting behind a desk, Chief Inspector Tsutsumi always worked in the field as he moved his way up the police force. Behind his stern face lies a compassionate man ever prepared to help his fellow officers. That same attentiveness to his work and colleagues, however, cost Tetsuo his marriage several years ago. Tetsuo has a penchant for candy and desserts, which he tries but fails to conceal from other officers at the risk of appearing soft. He delights in buying local sweets whenever he is set to investigate a case, and would often volunteer to be dispatched to distant locations to acquire them, while he was with the Paranormal Affairs Bureau. He's also surprisingly knowledgeable about current trends, a trait he puts down to investigation-related research, which is actually spurred by his wish to have something to discuss with his daughter. So, do you, have it?
Have what?
Spirit sense, of course. Are you what they call spiritually gifted?
Nope, never felt anything at all. If I did, I'd be a lightweight at best. One beer and I'm down for the count.
Oh, huh? Wait, yeah, why are we still talking about alcohol? Is that how people in the field quantify someone's spirit sense? Like, how much liquor they can handle?
Nope, that's just me.
Thought I'd help get the point. Yoko is absolutely his daughter. Cool. In one timeline, Shogo did kill his daughter, so that's a thing. Oh, huh.
Sorry, seems like I keep disappointing you.
No, it's not your fault, boss.
At the risk of disappointing you yet again, I'll tell you one more thing. Spirit sense is usually something you're born with. It's tough to develop it later on.
What? So there's no hope for me? No, say it ain't so.
Of course, you were interested. Well, you never know. You may have some kind of hidden potential. I know there's a high schooler who's got so much spirit sense that she works on the front lines. Say work, but she wasn't paid because it was supposedly part of her training.
Yikes, that sounds like it'd be a violation of Article 69 of the Labor Standards Act.
Wow, you really know the law. No comment.
Yeah, what are you, a lawyer? Even the occult field has workers' rights issues, huh? Yeah. So, what do we do now? We got this rite of resurrection and the curse echoes of the 7 mysteries of Honjo.
Curses being spread out around the city is a bit of an emergency.
It's that bad?
Put it this way. It's like handing out guns all over town.
So America.
Jeez, that's real bad. It is, so we need to find the source and put a stop to it before something terrible happens. Usually that'd be a job for Paranormal Affairs, but talk to them on our way here. The main team is tied up till tomorrow night. They told me to deal with him myself, so it'd be fine since I have some experience.
What? Then that overtime you mentioned means...
Yep, you're gonna help me, partner.
Alright, let's do this.
Seem a bit too eager to dive into all this. You really have no reservations working a case you know nothing about.
You said this was an emergency. I didn't think we had a choice. I'm just trying to be logical about this, boss.
You really are something. It might actually be nice having you around.
Why, thank you. So what exactly do we do?
These curses are connected to the 7 mysteries, and the people who have the others should all be here in town.
Right. There's 7 of them, that means there are 6 more out there.
We have to stop them all before they kill anyone with their curses. If we can, we should find and collect all the curse stones.
But boss, from what you said earlier, killing a curse bearer gets you closer to completing the rite of resurrection. Won't your life be in danger if they find out you're a curse bearer?
Pretty much.
Can't let that happen. Should you even be out here right now?
Hiding would only be a waste of time. The mystery of the one-sided reed is associated with Ryogoku Bridge. I was hoping we'd be quick enough to run into the one-sided reed's curse bearer. No such luck, it seems. Well, if nothing else, maybe word will spread that the cops are on the lookout and people will behave.
That's putting a lot of trust in whoever these other people are.
Well, it's possible the other curse bearers with the same idea will come here. Talk to anyone you see who seems suspicious.
That means someone who may have the power of a curse. Understood, in that case. Oh. Why don't I ask the guy who's been watching us this whole time?
What do you know? There's someone there. Good luck.
Hey, you there. I'm sorry to bother you, but I've got some questions. I'm with the police. Oh, it's Yutaro. Thanks for your cooperation. We'll be asking you a few things, Mr. Yutaro Namagaki. That's your name, correct? Yes. I don't mind answering your questions. You're a detective. Did something happen? Oh, right. Lots of things have been happening around here. Like people dying. Yeah? Oh, I still can't really move around. The man identifies himself as Yutaro Namagaki, 21-year-old college student. Hold on, let me take a precaution here. Let me just take a precaution and not, maybe get myself killed immediately.
He was watching us so calmly. We need to be careful with this guy. What is it you're doing here?
Ah, it must be the incident at the former Yasuda Gardens. A dead policeman. I can't imagine a detective would come all the way out here otherwise.
Huh?
Say, Mr. Detective, have you ever heard of the Evergreen Beach?
How about you answer my question first? What were you doing here?
I was answering your question. I came here to look for the Evergreen Beach from the 7 Mysteries of Honjo. Actually, I was wondering if either of you knew anything about it.
Nope, sorry.
Really? How strange. Detectives, you have the curse stone of the Evergreen Beach, don't you? How did you know?
Ario, you idiot.
Well, that was much easier than expected. Oh crap, sorry. It was simple inference. I figured you would have taken the curse if you were just in the gardens.
If you know that, then you must be a curse bearer yourself.
I have no intentions of hiding anything. I plan to tell you from the start. Look. This is my curse stone. I believe it's called the Foot Washing Mansion.
That's right. Are you sure about this?
I'm not so rash that I'd kill someone as soon as I found out they were a curse bearer. Not without talking to them first. You're the same, aren't you, detectives? You wouldn't use a curse on a normal person. Let's speak as equals, shall we? I'm not so sure. So that's a lie, by the way. Boss?
Sure, we'd rather resolve this amicably too.
Oh? It didn't let me.
Before we talk, there's something I should tell you. And this is my curse stone, the Evergreen Beach, just like you thought.
What? Boss, why would you tell him?
For how the curse works.
Boss, are you having another senior moment if you tell him that?
It hangs to death anyone who would try to mislead me. So if you try to lie to me, the curse stone will let me know. I don't have to use it to tell, understand?
Oh, really? That's super useful. I see. Understood. That's a pretty useful power for a detective. Now then, let's talk. Damn. Seems I've lost the upper hand. No point for pretty tricks, then. I'll be honest with you. Oop. No, I don't.
So far, so good.
Oh, really? Interesting. So it won't actually work. There's someone I wanted to bring back, so I'd like your assistance in collecting soul tracks.
Can't help you.
Please, all you have to do is tell me who the other curse bearers are.
Sorry, but as a police officer, I can't just look the other way and let you go.
Please, if I'll help you, I'll let you two go as well.
Is that a threat?
No. It's your final warning. My curse, the foot washing mansion. Did you really think you could escape it just by being careful? It didn't matter to me which of you was the curse bearer. It'll be taking both of your soul drags anyway. It won't. I saw this coming as soon as I saw you. Wait, Namagaki. The foot washing mansion is a powerful curse. It's so simple to activate. It's ready whenever I need it. There's no escaping from the voice of my feet.
Ariel, get out of here, hurry, I'll find you later.
Well, okay. Too late. Hear the voice of my curse echo. The voice of his curse echo? Huh? What? Why isn't my curse echo working? Impossible. This has never happened.
What's happening? I don't hear anything. Ario, now, grab him.
Right. Namagaki, get down. God damn it. Boss, here, his curse stone.
Work, give it to me.
Oh, now I've got two. Damn it. Why? What do you think, boss? Should we lock him up? I haven't even touched you. You consider that assault of a police officer?
Let him go. All we need is the stone.
How could this happen? My rite of resurrection.
Give it up. The right was too good to be true from the start. I don't know what happened to you, but you've been better off mourning whoever you lost the right way. Now get out of here.
Damn it. Phew, that was a close one, huh, boss? Probably be dead if he had activated his curse.
Yeah, I'm not sure what. Something stopped his curse from...
Boss, are you okay? And does having another curse stone hurt?
Yeah. The curse from this one's flowing into me too.
Oh no.
So it activated the curse of the foot-washing mansion, and the resentful memories bound to it. I see. I always thought this was one of the stranger of the 7 mysteries. But now I know why. This sure is something.
What did you see?
Save that for later. All you need to know for now is that this particularly powerful curse, we're lucky we took it from him quickly.
Phew. Kills by crushing one who hears the command, wash. She was an accomplished onmyoji. Alas, she did not use her talents for the good of the world or the people, but for her own selfish pursuit of beauty. After a fierce battle, the woman dragged herself through the streets. It was like something had gnawed away at her body. Will I die? I've already obtained what I needed as long as I have this. Suddenly, a terrible realization dawned on her. Her legs wouldn't move. She fell to the ground. What was happening? Surprised, she looked down. Her foot, once so beautiful and delicate, had grown ulcerated and rotten. Got her. She was on the verge of death and covered in filth to boot, crawling to a nearby house, her breath caught in her throat. The curious residents opened up but recoiled from what they saw. My foot is so filthy. Someone, please, quickly. The woman expired whilst mumbling something unintelligible, and so ended the life of a woman consumed by evil. Alright. Well, that makes one stone. Where do we go now?
We'll visit all the places associated with the mysteries while it's still dark out.
You mean we have to do that all over again?
I hope they aren't all as aggressive as him, but people won't do crazy things to bring back someone they love. Seems that the hatred the curse stones are imbued with makes people more willing to kill.
Really? Then what about you, boss?
I'm fine. I may not have any spirit sense, but I'm tough when it comes to this stuff. That's why they loved me in Paranormal Affairs.
So you are spiritually gifted after all. Alright, let's head to the next place. Nope, that is it. You would just die. Oh. So in this timeline, we still meet up with them, it looks like. Yeah, in this timeline, we still meet up with them. How interesting. How interesting indeed. Midoricho Park. So here's where we're going to meet Shogo. But how will things be different? Tetsuo Tsutsumi, 1 a.m. Midoricho Park. Oh no, it's this person. Excuse me, sorry to bother you, but we have some questions for you. Who are you? Oh, it's Araishi.
What, are you with the police? I haven't done anything.
Don't worry, this isn't an interrogation or anything. We just want to talk. You're Hideki Araishi, right? The historian? We know who you are, so this won't take long.
Since we saw you here, we'd just like to ask you a couple of questions.
Local history researcher Hideki Araishi. We don't know if he has a curse echo or not. Hideki is a historian who works part-time as a curator at the local folk museum and as a teacher at Komagata High School. Oh, he works at the high school, huh? His recent publication on the Rite of Resurrection has caused stir in occult circles. Hideki is the quintessential obsessive researcher. Despite being entirely unsuited for teaching, he had no choice but to take up a position at Komagata High School in order to make ends meet. While having a captive audience in his classes goes some way to satisfying his need for respect and recognition, his conceited nature makes him unpopular among the students. Lately, he is concerned that articles he contributed for purely monetary reasons, have earned him a reputation as a researcher of the occult. But the surge of interest in the topic and the resulting volume of articles requests he's receiving are undeniably tempting. Hideki is a regular at the Kurokikyo Cafe at Hokusai Street, where he can be found outside his work hours writing essays and manuscripts. His published books include A Study of the Unknown and An Introduction to Bando History. Foot-washing mansion, abandoned in this case, Itaro no Magaki, the young man encountered at Ryogoku Bridge. He didn't hide the fact that he was a curse bearer. His curse stone was later recovered by Tetsu Tsutsumi. Ichiro is an elite student at a prestigious university. He lives off of the generous allowance he receives from his parents, who are both prominent local figures. Although Ichiro has lived a charmed material life, emotional neglect at home has caused him to develop a spoiled, egotistical streak. The only kindness he knew growing up was from his family's maid, and he still fondly thinks of the plain rice with butter they used to enjoy together. Well, let's get it over with. I'm a busy man. Yeah? From appearances, it's hard to imagine a small, bookish, well-spoken man being very dangerous. But in this day and age, you never know. I should be careful. Questioning people like this can put unnecessary stress on them depending on their position. This guy's pretty sharp. I'll have to play it safe and only push him when I see an opening. Now, Mr. Araishi, what were you doing here at the time of night? Doing research, of course, day or night. Information never sleeps. It's an admirable philosophy. You know, your research has been quite the talk around town. What was it you were saying? You discovered something about some book? The Record of Fates? Alright, you found some kind of ritual in the Record of Fates. What? Don't tell me you want to know how to carry out the rite of resurrection, too. To be perfectly honest, I'm tired of people asking me about all this stuff. None of you even care about the local history. You just come crawling out of the woodwork when something interesting comes up. Looks like I hit a nerve. If you think you can force me to tell you because you're policemen, you're sorely mistaken. Oh yeah? Want to think again? Was the research you were doing just now also related to the Rite of Resurrection? Well, yes, that's right. What exactly were you looking for? I have no reason to tell you that. You wouldn't understand anyway. Was the research you were doing just... Oh, okay. Are you doing all this research so you can use the Rite of Resurrection yourself? You're a policeman. Do you really think people can be brought back to life? Everyone I meet, pitiful. Huh? So you don't believe in the rite? Whether it's real or not has nothing to do with my research. Such things are better left to the occult freaks. Or so I thought. Things changed. It's become necessary for me to pursue the rite. So now I pray that it's real. What changed? Sure you can imagine, the funds for my research. I received a large amount of funding for seeking the Rite of Resurrection. And if I find it, I'll receive a sum so great that I'll never have to worry about money again. Oh, then that means someone is sponsoring your research, is that right? So what if they are?
You have no idea how hard we work to secure funding for our research. I have no interest in teaching those children. Listen to me. I'll tell you one thing. Those experts you see writing provocative books or spouting nonsense on TV to try and get popular, all of them are just trying to get the money they need to do their research. With how popular the occult is, saying something even remotely spooky can lead to big money. What? But I bought your book. The pursuit of the unknown begins first and foremost with belief. I was so inspired by that bit. I do appreciate your patronage. Fortunately, however, the occult is not my true interest. The fate of the unknown is to be destroyed by thorough research and deep consideration. No way, I can't believe it. You're surprisingly innocent. What kind of research do you want to be doing? I'm sure wouldn't interest you, but to put it simply, the focus of my research is on historical accounts transformed into folklore over the years as they're passed down from generation to generation. What does that mean? Due to human bias, the account of any event is inevitably changed by the person communicating it. This is not necessarily done with ill intentions. It happens when someone tries to fill in the gaps in a story that lacks detail, or when something's left out or abridged because of the story's length, when the story twists and shifts as it's spread through oral tradition. Even when two stories are told about the same event, differences in culture and environment affect how it's told, changing its content. Silly little things can turn into terribly mysterious legends. My research is the study of how history, culture, and legend all influence each other. I see. Take the 7 Mysteries of Honjo, for example. Why are some of the mysteries seemingly about nothing particularly interesting? You'd think those stories wouldn't last a decade, let alone hundreds of years, so why? Perhaps putting it that way piques your interest. I admit, I'm curious. So that's what you've been researching all this time. Makes sense. As I said, it doesn't matter to me whether the right exists or not. If people in the Edo period believed that was written in the fate of record of fates was real, that's all I'm interested in. But I have to be realistic. The research I'd like to do is unfortunately not very lucrative. That's why I need to take some risks. This record of fates, where did you get your hands on it? Storehouse of an old private residence in the city, just as the public was told. I'm unable to be more precise due to an agreement with my informant. Well, in that case, I might have a guess at what it is you were looking for.
I don't know. Could be the 7 Mysteries.
Huh? I'm surprised you know that. There is indeed a theory that the 7 Mysteries of Honjo began because of the rite of resurrection. Well, my theory. Unraveling the 7 mysteries may reveal the secret of the rite. I think quite a few people are looking into the mysteries for that reason. Midoricho Park is connected to the story of the Taiko of Tsukuru, right? That's right. But this isn't the issue at hand. Well, in that case... What? Damn it, if you know about that then. Calm down, no need to get so defensive.
We can show it, I think. I gotta find out.
We both want information, right? Why don't we have a nice friendly chat? A curse stone. You're a curse bearer. A leaf. Is it the Evergreen Beach then? Yep. Want to show me yours?
Ah, the ever-burning lantern.
This is mine. The ever-burning lantern. Interesting.
Did that update at all? Or no? Doesn't look like it did. Alright. I think we can reveal them.
tell you this for free. The Evergreen Breach comes from a man who was hanged for spreading false rumors. But the accusations against him were unfounded, and he died cursing those who deceived him. Ah, so that is the resentful memory held within the Evergreen Beach. The memories of the 7 mysteries are truly fascinating. If only I could collect them all. Whatever you want, but you should know something. The stone of mine lets me curse anyone who tries to mislead me. What? But... So don't try and lie to me, I'll know. You would curse a citizen? You call yourself an officer of the law? It all depends on you. I don't want to use it if I don't have to. What is it you want? Cursed stones are dangerous. I'd like to confiscate yours. Excuse me, but my right. First, let me ask you one thing. You haven't used that curse, have you? No, of course I haven't, I swear. I see, good. Now, why don't you hand over that stone? Unless you'd rather try using it on me instead. Damn you. I won't give it to you. If I were to say that, what would happen? Would it be a crime? Police are all aware of how dangerous the stones are. I'd arrest you under Article 1, Section 2 of the Minor Offenses Act. Or you hand it over and all your loss is your secret ability. Think of what would happen to all your research if you were arrested. Fine. You can have the stone here. The ever-burning lantern.
Well, this is going smoothly. I can't wait to see how this all turns on its head. Kills by disembowelment one who finds themselves trapped in the darkness of the curse echo. He was trying to kill me. He was trying to kill Shogo. That's who this person was. And Shogo killed him in that timeline, theoretically. Theoretically. But apparently Shogo didn't kill anyone. When Honja was filled with the samurai residences, the spies of the shogunate lived amongst the townspeople to keep an eye on things. The Soba card on South Rodriguez served as one of their outposts. They would communicate to each other in code by turning the lantern on or off. Tonight at 4 a.m. meant that someone would be having the last soba of their life, and that their belly would be sliced open the next night. An unfortunate incident occurred in which a man attacked a woman in a bout of fury. He regretted it deeply, even declining to invoke the right to defend his honor, but the deed was done. Still, he could not accept it. His rage at having been used by his daimyo boiled over, turning into a grudge that would never forget. Nearby, he saw a lantern quietly glowing in the night, and when the 6th bell rang, the man cut his own stomach open. Since then, the lantern could be seen alight before the soba cart had opened, and would flicker out suddenly, even when there was no wind blowing. As this unsettling phenomenon continued, rumors surrounding it grew, and soon all were convinced that it was the man who cut open his stomach, visiting from beyond. Good choice. I look forward to seeing how your research pans out. All right. You tell us everything you know about what's been going on. If you help us out, we'll give you all the information we've gotten after we solve the case. What do you say? In that case, will you tell me about all the resentful memories of the 7 mysteries? I believe they are the key to the secret hidden in the record of fates. Sure, why not? I'll learn about them as I collect the curse stones. But thanks to you, we learned a lot from him. I wonder, the mysteries in Riot are all public information. Kept everything he knows about the other curse bearers and the source of the curse here hidden. Was hoping he'd at least give us a clue about how to beat these curses. Oh, I see. Then we should be more aggressive next time. Really make them spit it out. And by we, I mean you. Guessing he wants to save his curse. Save this curse. Wouldn't have told us anything no matter what we asked. Now we know where he hangs out. Can always send someone for him if need be. Right, got it. I'm surprised to hear that there were actually 9 of the 7 mysteries, though.
Yeah, that's 2 extra curse bearers we have to find. Confiscated 2, so there are 6 more. Could be anywhere in this town.
We have to find them fast, or we may start using curses.
No, I think we're already too late.
Huh?
I didn't tell you this. There were some soul drugs in Namagaki's curse stone.
Really? Then he already killed someone with it?
It's not much, so it probably wasn't a curse bearer. Shit. Well, we know who did it. We can make arrangements to take him into custody. We'll have Paranormal Affairs pick him up tomorrow. For now, we continue our search.
Right, on to the next place. We just have to cross them off the list, one by one. Oh, but boss.
Hmm?
To know we can use the Minor Offenses Act to arrest people with curse stones. But why didn't we do that with Namagaki?
If we could do that, there'd be no need for Paranormal Affairs. What grounds would a normal detective have to put him under arrest?
Oh, right. Yeah, I suppose that's true. Oh, interesting. Can't go here yet. But it's not highlighted, so there's nothing else to do. Interesting. Interesting indeed. It's also interesting, like, this is a split timeline. But then these timelines don't involve this timeline at all. Like, this is, like, almost completely fake. Interesting. Spirit board. Yako Sakazaki searches for the rite of resurrection, hoping to revive her friend who jumped to her death, Michio Sarashi. To get the information she needs, she meets her classmates Mio Kurozusu in their classroom at midnight to attempt using a spirit board. We'll be right back. I'm just gonna grab some water real quick. Alright, and I'm back. Yako Sakazaki, 12 a.m. That should be everything. Okay, let's start. Ready for this, Yako? I guess I'm saying I'm ready. Okay, I'm ready. High school student Yako Sakazaki. Yako is a student in Class 2C at Komagata High School. Unable to comprehend why her childhood friend and classmate Michio Shiraishi committed suicide, she attempted to investigate the incident herself. However, she was unable to make any progress, and feeling desperate, invited transfer student Mio Kurozusu to join her in performing a spirit board ritual. Born and raised in Honjo, Sumida City. Wow, jeez. Yako's family has owned and operated the beloved candy shop, Sonoya, since its established in the early Showa era. Despite her modest appearance, Yako is a cheerful and vivacious young woman with a sense of duty and compassion, so strong that she is easily moved to tears. She's also a bit quick-tempered and quarrelsome, always prepared to stand up against those who harm her, family or friends. It is possible, however, that this readiness to fight is more driven by an innate love of chaos. Yako's winning streak against arrogant boys and scraps since she was a child remains unbroken, and is the source of considerable stress for her mother. Komagata High School, a co-educational municipal high school with 632 attendees. Its name is commonly shortened to Koma High. Although it happened as Honjo's first middle school in 1943, subsequent revisions to its enrollment policy saw it change its name, becoming Komagata High School. The school strives to instill its students with the 3 S's of Sumida: sound morals, social responsibility, and strength of spirit. But success has been limited. Plagued by delinquency, it has been forced to turn to temporary employees to compensate for its high staff turnover. And its sports club faced challenges with its inner-city location and small campus. Its traditional cultural research club is thriving, however, in issuing regular bulletins in collaboration with the local records office. All right, let's start. This is the spirit board. This is how we'll be communicating. First, we both put a finger on the 10-yen coin that's on the board. Oh, do I actually have to do? Like this? Just like that. Relax your finger as much as you can. Now for the chant, repeat what I say, okay? O Spectre of the Spirit Board, please visit us. Your turn. Spectre, Spirit of the Spectre Board. Oh, Spectre of the Spirit Board. Please visit us. Spectre of the Spirit Board. Spectre of the Spirit Board, please visit us. Good. Please tell us if you're there. Whoa, it really moved. It looks like we succeeded in summoning. We can ask questions now. Right, questions. Start with questions you know the answer to and see the response. Then, when you know your questions are being answered truthfully, you ask what you really want to know. Okay, I'll start with something simple. I think it should know the answer to this. Oh, Spectre of the Spirit Board, what is my name? Oh, what's the matter? How strange. Huh? It told me no. I bet it means it doesn't know. It may be the Spectre of the Spirit Board, but it doesn't know everything. Is the spirit really the real deal? It's fine. I feel like it's giving me attitude. Maybe just a little bit. A little bit of attitude. We should know what this place is, though. If it doesn't know who we are, it should know this. Oh, Spectre of the Spirit Board, where are we? High school. High school. High school, that's right. The answer doesn't seem to be very precise. What's this girl's name? Fine, what is the name of the girl across from me? M-I... Oh. Doesn't know my name, but it knows Mio's name. Mio, that's right. That's not fair, it knows your name, Mio. It even used the weird characters you used to spell your name. How flattering. Psychic girl Mio Kurosuzu. Mio transferred to Class 2C at Komagata High School about 2 months ago. Although she is extremely mild-mannered young woman, she exudes a somewhat off-putting dark aura, which makes it difficult for her to form friendships. Mio has, however, found a friend in her classmate, Yako Sakazaki, and has begun opening up to her little by little. The truth of the matter is that Mio is the apprentice of a famous psychic. Possessing exceptional spirit sense, she takes on the troublesome tasks of surreptitiously handling spiritual disturbances that break out in schools across Tokyo before they become a problem. She transfers schools frequently as a result, and thus has trouble making human friends. Mio has already solved an incident at Komagata High School involving a female student possessed by a spirit. Although she takes effort to hide her spirit sense, many develop an impression that Mio has a deep knowledge of the occult and the paranormal upon first meeting her, leading her to be anxious that her secrets have been exposed. The most common she receives is that she seems to get along well with crows and black cats. I bet even the teachers get it wrong all the time. I guess these paranormal beings just tend to take a liking to you. I don't know how I should feel about that. Oh, Spectre of the Spirit Board, are you truly the Spectre of the Spirit Board? Huh? It said no, is it lying? Not quite. The Spectre of the Spirit Board is just a temporary name we call them when using the board. We're actually calling a spirit with a strong tie to this place, or one of the people participating. In other words, a spirit that just happened to be nearby just felt like answering. They don't really think of themselves as the Spectre of the Spirit Board. Oh, really? Huh. Feels like some of the mystique has disappeared. Do you mind if I can call you the Spectre of the Spirit Board? Yes, okay. Thanks? Always good to remember to say please and thank you. I'll ask it again. What's my name? I didn't even hesitate this time. Shh. Alright, it's time to try asking serious questions. Yeah. Who does Mio have a crush on? I think that's a serious question. Oh, Spectre of the Spirit Board? What is the name of the boy Mio has a crush on? Hey, if you're gonna ask that kind of question, doesn't everyone ask this kind of stuff with spirit boards? Besides, I'm curious. No, let's not do this. Huh? Said no. Guess this must mean you don't have a crush on anyone. Whew. Yeah, that's it. No is correct. Let's move on. Or maybe... Oh, Spectre of the Spirit Board, do you mean the boy isn't in our class? Wow. Hey, stop that. Don't make me exercise you. If that's the case then, oh, Spectre of the Spirit Board, is it a teacher at our school? Oh, no good, huh? Phew. Yako, cut it out already. We made the effort to sneak in at night. We shouldn't waste time with these questions. You got a point. Okay, here I go. I'll be serious now. Yes, please. The Spectre of the Spirit Board. Did Michio Shiraishi in our class, who died by committed suicide by jumping 1 week ago, really commit suicide? So it really wasn't. I'm not surprised. I never believed it from the start. Now's the important part. Yeah. Michio Shiraishi was a second-year student at Komagata High School. She was found deceased 1 week ago in a back alley off South Orogasui Street, her entire body broken and severely contorted. Police determined that Michio committed suicide by jumping from a nearby apartment building. As there was no suicide note, the police based their conclusion on interviews with Michio's peers. Michio was an honor student with a good head on her shoulders and consistently excellent grades, making her a favorite among the teachers. Although she appeared somewhat reserved, she had a positive outlook on life and a courageous spirit. Michio and Yako formed a long-lasting friendship during childhood, with Yako's unbending, uncompromising attitude deeply influencing Michio. However, beneath her strong exterior, Michio had been pushing herself too hard and keeping her emotions bottled up to the point that they risk of overflowing. Following her father's death 3 years ago, and moving to a new house, Michio began avoiding Yako. Although the two remained in the same area of town and attended the same high school, they gradually grew further apart. Yako herself worried for her childhood friend, but incapable of wading into the complexity of Michio's home, life kept her distance. The days passed, and though Michio longed to confess everything to Yako, the moment to do so never came. Michio carried an old talisman, a memento of her father, with her at all times. Oh. Oh, Spectre of the Spirit Board? Did Michio Shiraishi die in an accident? Yes, so it was an accidental death. It said yes. So it was an accident and not a suicide. Michio. Then did she slip and fall from that apartment building? No. Huh? She didn't. Well, what do you mean? Michio didn't die falling from the apartment building? Oh. No way. If that were true, then why was she lying on the ground like that in the back alley of the apartment building? It was an accident, but not a fall. Well, Spectre of the Spirit Board, what happened to Michio on that day? Oh. Seems like it doesn't know the details. Then how about... Oh, Spectre of the Spirit Board. We want to use the Rite of Resurrection to bring Michio back to life. Do you know where the Rite of Resurrection is? I wonder. Huh? Whoa. What is this? Stop. I'm scared, Mio. Calm down. You can't let go before it's over. Stop. I can hear the procession. Please stop. It hurts. Ah! Such deep sorrow. Resentful memories flowing into my mind. Fool's procession, those who hear it fall into the depths of hell. Kill them. Those who hear this sound, kill them all. You've acquired the power of the curse stone, the Fool's possession. You can use it to kill those who hear the sound produced by the curse echo for more than 30 seconds. The effect will be negated if you are seen in that time. Press the use curse button to produce that sound. Oh. It's important to know because it also means I may need to turn off sound effects if it's similar to voices. Kills by fatal fall one who hears its music for 30 seconds without seeing the curse bearer. Omio stood atop the tall festival tower. It was her time to shine, and she was ecstatic. It had been years since she joined the troupe, but she had yet to enjoy her day in the spotlight. She wasn't particularly pretty, nor was she all that talented. As a gossip and a loudmouth, she wasn't well liked by her peers. Some of the other girls thought of her as a teacher's pet and bullied her. I don't care about them, she thought. I'll use this chance to make something of myself. Everything was perfect. She wore a beautiful kimono and an okame mask over her face. The stage was set. The accompaniment began. She danced with everything she had. Applause rained down upon her from the crowd. Her breathing hastened with excitement. I gotta catch my breath. That's strange. I can't take my mask off. The smell of glue assaulted her nostrils. So that's how it is. I knew it was too good to be true. Her screams were drowned out by the music as she squirmed and struggled. Omio is giving it her all today. We have to keep her up. The crowd livened even more. No, please someone help me. She fell from the tower, writhing in pain as she begged those around her for help. The music stopped in time with Omio's heart. Fun! The murderous impulse seeps into my soul like thick black tar. Now, kill. Can you hear it, curse bearer? You who strongly desires the right, kill them. There you go. I think with that, I'm going to save here. I think with that, we'll save here and call it a night. Things are mysterious. What's real? What's fake? It's interesting that so far, we've yet to meet up with Shogo, which makes sense because I actually don't know if that makes sense. Don't know what timeline we're on. If there are multiple timelines, more timelines than just the 2 split paths that Shogo Okie took. We'll have to wait and see. Find out next time. And so with that, thank you for tuning in, whether on Twitch or on YouTube, and wherever you are. I hope you're having a good evening, a good morning, a good day. Remember to drink some water, eat some food, take care of yourself, take your medicine. Take care of yourself the best that you can, because that's all that we can ask. With that, I'll be back tomorrow night. We'll see, hopefully wrapping this up. I think I should be over halfway with the game-ish, based on how long to beat, but not entirely sure. We'll see. So we'll either finish it up or we'll finish it up probably on Saturday night. So with that, thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.